Every new parent, like myself, wants the best for their baby. But what if I told you your child's total well-being can start in their mouths? For over 23 years, Ashburn Children's Dentistry has specialized in pediatric oral health and how it may impact health issues in other parts of the child's body. Please welcome back to the show the doctors. I love them, the mother-daughter dynamic duo, like I call them, Doctors Linda and Crystal Dean Duru. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming back.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I mentioned off camera, absolutely, that we could talk for an hour-long show, but we're going to do one segment for the sake of time.
Right.
So, like I mentioned, just had a baby girl, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. And many other parents, you want the best for your child, and you don't really think about their oral care until they have teeth. And of course, I've got a little one with little gums, and everyone has an infant with just little gums. But you're telling me that there's dentistry and oral health care for infants. Tell me more about that.
Oh, that's a great question, because actually their health begins before conception. However, once they come in, then you want to worry about or check and say that they have that good breath, that suck, swallow, breathe reflex is active like right away. And because that's going to set the stage for function to follow. Yes.
Love that. Love that. And one thing I know people always talk about is tongue ties, but I know you all talk about oral ties. So what are oral ties? It's not just tongue ties, I'm assuming.
Right. So there's more to, you know, the face and the tongue and all of that than just the tongue, right? So with oral ties, you have restrictions in the mouth. We all have oral ties. However, when they become an issue is when they're restricting function.
Gotcha.
Right? And not only does the tongue restrict the function, but the lips and part of the cheek restrict the function of the growth of the jaw.
Yeah.
And so being able to evaluate when it's necessary to release them is of utmost importance, because some things can mimic having a tongue tie. Right?
Oh, okay.
Some restrictions in the body and restriction in the face and the function can mimic having a tongue tie. It can be it can be a nerve issue. It can be, it can be all different fascial restrictions and strains and things like that. And so being able to distinguish if it's time to release a restriction of function is important. And then also understanding some of the symptoms that come into play when you do have a lip, a cheek, and a tongue tie.
Wow. And this is why we need to bring our infants to you, because these are things most parents have no idea about. And it's National Breastfeeding Month in August. I want to talk about breastfeeding challenges and how you all can help with that as well. And I see you brought in a bottle, because I know breastfeeding challenges are one thing, but also how a baby latches on a bottle can be challenging too. Talk more about that.
Well, great question to have. And sometimes breastfeeding is not possible. And it's okay. You want to have the baby even use a bottle that is shaped as best it can to help develop their faces. And so we generally like to have the shape of the nipple sloping easily, because you want the baby to be able to fit all of this inside their mouth.
Gotcha.
And then have to use their use their tongue to push on the roof of the mouth, because part of why breastfeeding is helpful is because it helps to widen the jaw, it helps to grow the face. And so if you can't do that, you want to do something that mimics that function as much as possible. So you don't want any nipple that has a constriction over like a shorter end of it, because that makes the baby use the chin to push on the bottle to get milk as well. And so when they're using the chin, they're not making use of their tongue, and that's not helping to widen the jaws. And they're not getting the neural intake and input that they require as well. So
that's amazing, amazing. So mothers can come to you, bring their infants, and you can do a full evaluation of how they're latching to the breast, how they're latching to the bottle, what to do at home. Tell us how mothers, fathers, parents can reach out to you, make an appointment, and start this process.
They can get us on our website at www.kidsmile.com, or they can follow us on
Ashburn Children's Dentistry on Instagram, so social media, Facebook, give us a call.
Yep.
The whole goal of, like you said, nursing is the start of building the face and the jaws before the teeth come in, so they can come into a really good environment.
I love it. Looking at things from the womb is amazing. Like I said, and then I have to say personally, I follow the Instagram page, and it's a wealth of knowledge. So if you aren't following the Instagram page, do so today, because every day I'm like, oh my goodness, it's amazing information. Ladies, thank you so much. Like I said, we could talk for hours.
Thank you so much for
having us.
Absolutely.
Have a good time.
Always a pleasure and a good time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And so many moms don't need to suffer. There's help out there, so they can reach out to us. We're happy to talk through it and maybe even let them know whether it's something they need to be concerned about or not.
Absolutely. Well, I'm bringing Grace in. I'm bringing my baby in because
we look forward to seeing her.
Thank you so much.